Welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at some advanced set operations, which is why sets are useful compared to lists and tuples. So what I've got here is my art friends and my science friends. In art, we've got Rolf, Anne, and Jen, and in science, we've got Jen and Charlie. So a couple of things you can notice about these sets is that Jen does both art and science, right? She's in both sets. Rolf and Anne do art, but not science. And Charlie does science, but not art. And in total, we have 4 people: Rolf, Anne, Jen, and Charlie. So we can use sets to extract that information from this data. Here's how. Let's get those people that do art, but not science. So we'll say art, but not science. And what you want to do is you want to say art friends dot difference science friends. So the difference gives you which elements are in art that are not in science. So the ones that are in art but not in science means that it's going to do Rolf, Anne, and Jen. It's going to take away all the elements that are here that are also here. So in this case, Jen is in both, so it's going to get taken away, and what you'll get back is Rolf and Anne. Of course, you can do science but not art, and it's just the opposite: science friends, difference, art friends. And what that's going to do is it's going to take your science friends, Jen and Charlie, and it's going to take away those that are in art, so Jen. And it's going to leave you just with Charlie. Let's print those out, and you'll see what I mean. So in the first one, you have Anne and Rolf, but not Jen. And in the second one, you have Charlie, but not Jen. Sometimes what you want is something called the symmetric difference, which is members that aren't in both sets. So what members are not in both sets? Rolf, Anne, and Charlie. So let's get that. So not in both would be art friends dot symmetric difference science friends. So you get Anne, Rolf, and Charlie. So those are the members that are not in both. Since Jen is the only one that's in both, what you end up is everything together except the ones that are in both. Of course, because it's a symmetric difference, it doesn't matter which one goes first. You can put science friends dot symmetric difference art friends, or you can do what we've done here, art friends dot symmetric difference science friends. So to recap, difference does elements that are in one but not the other, whereas symmetric difference does elements that are not in both. If you wanted the members that are in both sets, so Jen, you can do that with something called the intersection. So you could do who is doing art and science, and that would be art friends dot intersection with science friends. And what that would give you is just Jen in her own set. Notice that this is still a set because it has the curly braces around it. So that is a set of one element. Finally, if you wanted all the people that are studying any subject, but without duplicates, you could do all friends is art friends dot union with science friends. And that is going to unite both sets and give you one big set with everybody in it. Of course, note that Jen is there twice, so it's only going to appear once in the final set because sets cannot contain duplicates, and you can see that this is still a set, so there are no duplicates in it. These operations are why sets are useful. For example, you could have a lottery game where your user has a few numbers and the system has decided on 6 numbers that are the lottery winners. By having them both on sets, you could calculate the intersection of them two, which elements the user has matched with the winning elements, and then calculate the user's winnings like that. And that is in fact going to be one of the challenges for this section. If you're not completely sure when to use each of these data structures, lists, tuples, and sets, don't worry too much. Over time, you will get better at it. And most of the time, you'll be using tuples and lists. Sets are reserved for when you want to use these operations. Thanks for joining me in this video. I hope you've learned something, and I'll see you in the next one.